Listen, man, I know you were confident coming in, but that was a pretty impressive performance, man. Give me an idea how you're feeling after that.
Feeling great. You know, like I said before, Lewis is a guy I've looked up to, and I know I'm younger. I mean, he's younger than me, but he's been in the UFC for a long time. I've been watching his career unfold for a long time, and happy to have gotten the matchup and happy to come out and get the win. It was difficult. There was like a mental block there for a second. I didn't know if I could win in the UFC. Now I piled up multiple wins. I got my first finish, and I'm telling you, I can do this. I can do this with anybody. 125, 135, 145. Let's go.
145 too?
No, not really.
Not really. I was just saying. That's great, man. The grappling game, I mean, getting the finish there. I mean, of course, we think of Lewis. We think of his grappling game. I know you're confident, but did you have a feeling that was a place you could win?
Absolutely. I can win everywhere. That's the thing. My skill set, I've worked my entire career to build a complete skill set, and we're still filling in the gaps. We've got things to work on, obviously, and I've got great coaches. I've got great people around me, and I travel and I look around and I try to tell my coach I like to microdose humility throughout my training camps just to keep myself sharp. You know, every day I stand in front of guys who are amateurs who batter me, and I have to go home and think about my life choices. You know, so shout out to those guys, D'Angelo and George and all those kids that push me. That you know, they're not at this stage right now. They're not at the stage I am, but they still push me every day, and it reminds me, like, any given day somebody can whip me out here. So, yeah.
That's awesome. You got this winning streak together. I mean, what is it? I mean, you talked a lot about the mental side of things. I mean, is it the mental side of it, or is it this training, you know, going around and picking up things around? I mean, what's the key to this consistency you got now?
You got to come out here and prove it to yourself every once in a while, and yeah, I still struggle. I couldn't sleep last night. You know, I still struggle, and it doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter. 15 minutes, you got to go out there and put it together. Everybody deals with it. We're all worried. We're all concerned. We're all, you know, sometimes we all lose a little sleep. But here I am. Here I am. I'm proof that you can do this. And I don't think people realize that I'm an average guy. You know, I like to push that narrative because everybody likes to pretend like they're different than everyone. But I rode the bench my entire athletic career. You know, I played sports and tried my hardest and always gave maximum effort. And it wasn't until I found martial arts that I realized that effort actually matters. So here we are.
That's awesome. Those sleepless nights. I mean, what goes through? Is it self-doubt? Is it like wondering whether or not you're as good as you think you are? What's going through the head in those moments?
You know, I got a family now. I got a wife and 2 cats, and I want to provide for them. And there's a lot on the line, a lot more on the line than there used to be. So, yeah, I'm just trying to come out here every day and do my part and persist and, you know, take the good and take the bad and keep it rolling. And these guys know I struggle, man. I have days where I'm hanging my head and they got to come pat me on the back and tell me everything's okay. And I try not to wear it too much, but I'm a very empathetic, and, you know, I care and I think a lot, and I get in my own head a lot of times.
Yeah. You got momentum now, man. Things are going the right way. You keep talking about flyweight. Are you gonna push for flyweight? Are you gonna talk to the matchmakers and try to get flyweight fights, or do you just take what they give you and hope? What do you think?
I think they know where I stand. You know, I have a very good relationship with Mick Maynard, and he knows where I stand on this. I'm going to take the fights that are offered to me. You know, you give me 8 weeks notice, it doesn't matter who's at the end, you know, who's on that contract. I'm going to accept it because I believe with my team that we can put together a game plan. I have the ability to beat anybody. Any man on 2 legs can get this work.
Nice. Last thing for me, what does make sense as you stand here now? I mean, is there a date, a location that the UFC has announced, or an opponent? What do you think would make sense for you?
I would like to fight twice more before the year's end. I'd like 3 fights in 2019. And I don't think that's asking too much. I fought once last year. And I get it, you know, when you stumble out of the blocks, this is a hierarchy, like we said before. And, you know, you don't get to call your shots when you're 1-2 or 2-2 in the UFC. But I've won 3 in a row. I've moved up to bantamweight. I just took out a very tough competitor. Let's go. Let's get this thing going. I'm an exciting guy. Let me get my feet underneath me. Let me get some traction in this thing. I can amass a fan base. I speak well. I can fight, punching, kicking, wrestling. I can do it all.